Hi everyone, Erica here. So what I'd like to do in this video is talk about a Netflix show called Abstract: The Art of Design. This video is going to be about the second episode, which focuses on a shoe designer by the name of Tinker Hatfield. So I really enjoyed this episode for a few reasons that I'll get into soon. However, I didn't feel as enthusiastic about this episode as I did with episode 1, which was about Christoph Niemann. But honestly, it kind of makes it easier for me to review because I'm not like totally fangirling over every word being said. So I'll share the link to the playlist for my reviews of each episode in the description below so that you can hear about the rest of the season as well. So today we're focusing in on another very well-known designer by the name of Tinker Hatfield. This episode opens up with a bunch of people on the street recognizing a photograph of the guy. Like there's no way to not know who he was, except I didn't know. So he's most known as a shoe designer for Nike that designed most of the Air Jordan shoes from edition 3 through 15. And that's why so many people recognize him. So I found the history very interesting because he was actually focused on becoming an Olympic athlete. And he hadn't even considered design work until it was kind of thrust upon him. So he hurt his ankle and he never healed up enough to bring him back to like Olympic track qualifying times. But his coach, Bill Bowerman, designed a special shoe for him to accommodate his injury. So Bowerman was a co-founder of Nike, and then when he and Tinker started working together, he was basically told that he's now a shoe designer for Nike. So it kind of fell into his lap, but I mean, he was also good at it, so there's some skill involved. So as he talked about the start of his career and adapting his architectural degree to shoe design, I learned so much about the emotional drive behind functional design. He starts off by saying that shoe design is about predicting the needs of the future. So he started to study how athletes use their feet, and he concluded that nobody was ever in the right shoe at the right time. People playing basketball, tennis, running, weightlifting, etc., they were just all wearing the same shoes all the time. So he released the first 2 Air Max shoes specifically for running, and they have a visible chamber of air in like the heel of the sole. And although he was told that he was pushing the envelope too far, they were a hit success. And he was told that he would be designing the Air Jordan 3. So as Tinker talks about this crazy endeavor it was to design this shoe, I couldn't believe the amount of stress and effort that it takes to make each one. Tinker says that people struggle with design that they aren't used to, but they can get into unfamiliar territory if they can get behind the idea. So spoiler alert, he starts crying when he's talking about his journey, starting with Bill Bowerman and all of the effort that ensued. And he didn't know that designing shoes could become such a crazy emotional investment, especially when he didn't consider being a designer from the start. What I thought was really interesting was that Tinker apparently saved Nike, who was at the time failing to catch up with Reebok's popularity over their aerobic shoes. So the Air Jordan infused Nike with Michael Jordan's greatness, and that kind of extended into the basketball community and changed the image of the Air Jordans into more of a lifestyle shoe. So my favorite thing that Tinker says is basic design is always functional, but design that's great says something. And he also says towards the end of the episode that if people don't either love or hate your work, then you just haven't done that much. So these 2 quotes combined made this episode to be quite motivational and concrete, which is ironically the opposite of abstract, the title of the show. So Tinker allowed a stream of consciousness to kind of whisk him away and become one of history's most genius shoe designers. And this is something I'm always trying to incorporate in my life, is to just kind of like let go of the ideal and like plans and fantasies and just like fall into myself and discover my skills. So allowing my stream of consciousness to be like fully expressed and say something to speak for me, and people can either love it or hate it, but until then I need to keep producing. So the only negative about this episode, I was kind of confused by the historical sequencing of the episode, and I did a quick Google timeline just to make sense of it. Tinker was talking about like his college days, and he would jump forward to talk about like Michael Jordan and other side projects. So I was just getting like a little bit confused, but I made sense of it on Wikipedia. So yeah, I guess they brought Michael Jordan into the episode quite early because that's what he's most known for, and it kind of adds legitimacy to the journey at the beginning. But if that's the case, I don't really think it was necessary because there were plenty of images of Tinker's shoe sketches that do the trick, that like show his design and artistic skill. So despite that, I like this episode a lot, and I found it more worth my time than some other shows I watch. So I definitely recommend you watch this show. And if you have seen it already, please let me know what you thought. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite part? And thanks for watching. So if you enjoyed this video, please throw me a like. And if you're interested in hearing about my reviews about the rest of the series, just please subscribe, and then you'll be notified about when I put those videos out. So thanks for watching. Bye. Have a good one.